Hey, Flawed and Happy here. Hello, hello. How are you? Okay, so recovery series. We are moving right along. This is my absolute favorite step. I really like this step. We are on step 3. So I'm just going to read it to you real quick. I got my computer up over here, the 3rd step. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. So you know what, you guys, this step is actually really simple. I know it sounds really difficult, but we don't need to complicate it. Here we go. Made a decision. That's all we're doing is making a decision. That's it. A decision. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand him. That is it. That's it. How do you understand him? Okay, you know what? I'm going to make it even more easier for you. Even more easier. Okay, if you don't want to call him God, then don't. Then don't. You know, that is a really cool thing about the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And even if you're not even in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, if you're not even in a program, it's okay. You know, these 12 steps, they are designed for they are designed for so many different types of organizations. You know, there's Narcotics Anonymous, there's Gambling Anonymous, there's Sex Anonymous. What are some more? I know there's more. Sorry about rubbing my nose. I'm like getting into it. So, this is the deal, okay? I love this step because this is the step that saved my life. It seriously did. All we're doing is making a decision. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is make a decision that you're going to turn your will and your life over to the care of God. And if you don't want to call him God, then don't. Replace God with whatever you want there. I don't care what you call him. As you understand him. Or her. Or whatever you want to call him. It doesn't matter. So, all right. When I first came into the program, and I personally am going to talk about Alcoholics Anonymous because that's the first program that I came into. When I was 16 years old, my best friend brought me to a meeting. It wasn't for me at that time. 6 months later, she continued to go to meetings, and then she ended our friendship because my drinking was interfering with her recovery time. 6 months later, we met up one night, and a week later, she got killed in a car accident. And when I was 16, I was 5 months pregnant with my son. And when I was 21 years old, I now had 3 kids. And I was on my way to my very first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous to the exact same location that she had taken me to when I was 21. So that is why I am going to be speaking about Alcoholics Anonymous, because that is where my journey starts. So if I offend anybody, sorry. Go find a different video then. I don't mean to sound rude, but this is my own personal experience. This is my own experience, strength, and hope. I honestly don't mean to offend anybody, but this is YouTube. There's literally millions of videos out there. You might go, I don't know, go find one that might suit you better. I don't mean to be rude. I really don't, but don't waste my time. I won't waste yours. So, if I can help you, I hope I can. Seriously. Okay, so made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. So I come into the program. I don't realize I'm an alcoholic. I don't realize my life is unmanageable. I'm not even sure I'm even insane. And now they want me to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understand him. I don't even know about any of this, you know, and I'm reading these steps on the wall and I'm thinking these people are all freaking nuts. I'm not even kidding. And I'm and they all think I have a problem. I'm like, who the hell are these people? You know, and I can clearly recall, you know, like by this point, I'm telling a few people that I've gone to some AA meetings, and some people are like, oh, aren't they a cult? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of like I'm wondering if they ain't myself. You know, but in the meantime, I'm still going because there's something I heard down there. Something that I'm kind of relating with. But you know what? I'm going to tell you guys something. Up until this point, everywhere I had been in life, no matter where I was at, even before I started drinking, I just kind of always felt like I never belonged anywhere until I had alcohol in me. Once I started consuming alcohol, it was like magic. Magic. I didn't know what it was. So I would take my concoction. That would do it. That would do it. This ain't alcohol either, by the way. That alcoholic drink, I would put it down into my system. And all of a sudden, it just made me feel like I fit in, and I fit in everywhere where I was at. It didn't matter what type of people I was with. It didn't matter about anything. And for some reason, I'm 21 years old. I got 3 kids. I'm sitting with these 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old people. I'm the youngest one in the crowd. I'm 21 flipping years old. I'm sober with them. And I'm feeling like I fit in with them. You know, they're talking about what they do, you know, what they did back when they were drinking, and we're all laughing about it. You know, and I'm like, oh my God, they're admitting that. You know, and they made me feel like it was okay for me to admit some of my stuff. You know, so I would tell them some of my stuff. And I can remember, you know, there was this one man, he was in his 60s. And I can remember, he looks over at me and he goes, how old are you? It's like, me? Yeah, you. How old are you? I'm like, I'm 21. I spilt more drinks than what you drank. Really? You know, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I really could be a smartass right now, but I don't know if I dare to be, because that guy really looks crabby. And he really looks like he could use a drink right now. You know, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, when did he quit drinking? Like yesterday? Because that dude's crabby. So I ask him, when's the last time you had a drink? And he tells me like 22, 23 years ago. And I'm like, so I look at him and I said, holy smokes. If that's the way people act when they're that sober, I don't think I want to get that far. A whole room cracks up. You know, and right there, you know what? It broke the ice for him and I. And he looks over at me and he says, I like you. You know, and I'm like, oh no, I'm kind of scared of you. But you know what? That old crabby guy, him and I became best friends. That old crabby thing. For the next 10 years, him and I became so close that I even went to doctor appointments with him. And I went to surgery appointments with him. And he became one of my best friends. And that is what AA became to me. It became a fellowship, a family in and of itself. You know, it It became a group of men and women that had no age barriers in it, but they became brothers and sisters to me. And when it came time for me to have to start looking at that third step, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Now I was able to look at them and say, I don't really understand what God is, because I didn't. I wasn't 100% sure what is God. What am I supposed to be looking at? What am I supposed to be doing? Who is God? And once I started questioning, I had friends that were stepping up, and they were explaining to me what their God was. They were explaining to me, and I was able to look at that and take what was going to work for me and leave the rest. And that's the really cool part about Alcoholics Anonymous. You can take what's going to work and you can leave the rest. And so that's why I say, if you don't want to use the word God, then don't. If you don't want to use the word him, then don't. All you have to do is just make a decision to believe that there is something bigger than you to rely on, to start turning over your issues and your problems to start relying on, to keep you sober, to keep you clean, to keep you from doing what it is you're doing in your life that's keeping you stuck on that sit and spin and getting nowhere, keeping you stuck in your problems of life. I rely on my higher power to a point today where sometimes I will rely on something so incredibly small that I will just ask for something insignificant. Like, where did I put that book? Where did I put that book, God? And then he'll tell me. So, I don't want to give you guys the impression that I'm one of those holy rollers that, carries my Bible around with me every day and sits down and prays all the time, because I'm not. I just have this sense of faith, and I honestly believe that a majority of my belief and my intuition comes from my gut, and it doesn't come from my head. I try not to believe anything that comes from my head, because that's usually how I get myself into trouble, is when I believe what's going on up here. I believe on my intuition, and a lot of times when my intuition is telling me to do something and I don't want to do it, that is usually when I am getting ready to be put on God's track in life, God's will. And a lot of times when I would go against that, I would really mess my life up. A lot of things would start going wrong, and my anxiety would go up in life, and I would just have a really hard time. So when I came into the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, I had to learn an awful lot about myself. I didn't know an awful lot about myself because I truly was running on self-will run riot. And it took me a good 10 years to figure out just some simple basics, because I truly was a freaking idiot. And I did not listen to a whole lot of people. And I ain't even going to lie about that. It took me 10 years just to get one consecutive year of sobriety. There were people that was coming into the program after me that started after me that got more sobriety time than what I got right now. So I'll tell you what, but it's not a competition. By no means. It's not. It just kind of makes me feel like an idiot sometimes, so watching these videos, you might probably get a little bit more of what not to do out of them, more so than what to do. But a lot of times when it comes to the steps, a lot of people will read more into them than what really needs to be read into them, because the steps really aren't complicated. They're really not. We just tend to complicate them. And the easiest thing to do when you come into a program, when it comes to a 12-step program of any kind, it doesn't matter what it is is to grab somebody that's got long-term, and they have friends, close friends. We sometimes call them sponsors. They got long-term, and work with them. And remember, they're trying to help you. And if they're saying stuff that's pissing you off, that's good. That's good, because they're just trying to help you. And pissing you off is good, because that means you're changing, and that's good. You know, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. Growth and change. It kind of hurts. It does. Growth and change. It kind of hurts. Remember that. It kind of hurts. It will sting. It will be painful. But it's also necessary. So just remember that. Just remember that. And find yourself some really, really good trusting people in the program. But also keep in mind, as you are finding those really good trusting people, that not all people are trustable. You know, there's a lot of people that are willing to listen, but some of them people are willing to listen only so they can be doing this. That's all they want to do. Stay away from those people. Like, for real, stay away from those people. They cause more problems than what they're even worth to be around. You know, and I found that out the hard way. I really did. You know, so I'll tell you what, it takes all kinds of people to make this world go around, though. It really does. It really does. We love them anyway. We do. We love them anyway. So thanks for tuning in to Flawed and Happy. I really do. I love this step. I do. If it wasn't for this step, I would really hate to even know where I would possibly be at. This step here is the step that got me to know a lot of people on a very personal, close level, very intimate level. And I got to know a lot of women within the program. And I truly appreciate those women. I got to be able to share a lot of aspects of my life that I probably wouldn't have in any other way, because I would watch these women and they were so happy and they were content from what I could see. And I really wanted what they had. And I really appreciated and I valued what they had. And I thought, you know what? I want that. I want that. They really look like they had their shit together. So I used to sit by them thinking I too could have my shit together. Yeah. All right. So you know what? I'm going to continue on with this is it. I'm not doing another step. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I'm going to do some other stuff for the rest of the day here. And, the recovery here, I want to get into a little bit more of my own personal story, but I do want to finish up with the steps too. But I am going to quit with the video series for today, just for today. So you guys actually got 2 videos today. I want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And if you are struggling with addiction, please know you don't have to struggle alone. You don't have to do it alone. You honestly don't. You're not meant to do it alone. You are never meant to be alone. Ever. Human beings were not designed to be alone. I just want you to know that. By design, we are not meant to be alone. So, there are people out there. I am going to look for some hotlines and do some, wow, what do you call that? Oh my gosh, I drew a blank. I drew a blank. I'm going to put them in the description. So I have to do something in order to put them in the description. So just watch for that. I'm going to find some national hotlines and do that. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Flawed and Happy. So glad you guys are here. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.